Okay, so it was 2 letters chosen from the word rhino. So there are 5 letters in that word, and then 3 digits from 0 to 9. And then they're also saying the letters and the digits may not be repeated. So that's why if you take in one, say the R here, you can't use the R for the next one. Okay, so that's what's 5, 4, and then 10, 9, 8. Again, you don't have to write this, you can just do the working and write the answer. Guys, I would suggest that you not just write the answer, right? At least show the numbers that you're multiplying together and then the answer, because this could be a 2-mark question. So you could get 1 mark for the working and 1 mark for the answer. If the answer is correct, fine, you'll get 2 marks. But say you left out that 8 or something, you can still get a CA mark for the answer if you've actually written your working out. Okay. For the next one to B, they said how many different entries start with R? So guys, how many options are there now for the first letter? Just 1. Okay. And now you've used R for the first letter. Now how many options are there for the next one? 4. Okay. So that's the only thing that changes basically. They're telling you that the entry starts with R, so that one is fixed. So there's just 1 option for the first letter and then 4 for the next. And then it was a similar thing for C. Now they said how many different entries end with a 0. So now the last digit is fixed. So that has to be a 0. So there's only 1 option there. But again, you can't repeat. So if you have a 0 as your last digit, you can't have a 0 as the first or second digit there. So you don't have 10 options for that digit there. All right, because you can't use 0 again. So it's 9 there and then 8. All right. Okay, so number 10, which is just next to it, it was the exact same thing, but now you could repeat the stuff, the digits and the letters. So the calculation would be slightly different. The same concept, yeah. No, it's not even cycle. No. Okay, so same concept here. Again, the first letter has to be an R, but now you can repeat. So your second letter can also be R. All right, so the second one can be any of those 5. Same thing here. The last digit has to be a 0, but the digits can be repeated. So that means that. Okay. I'm going to give you guys another exercise with some more of these now where they're like giving you fixed values and things. No, we haven't done anything. So now in the next exercise, which was 13.6, I must apologize, number 7, there was actually one thing to number 7 that we haven't done yet. So we're not going to look at that one now. I'm going to teach you something new but later today, and then we'll come back to number 7. So sorry about that. But the rest of the stuff you should have been able to do. 9B was difficult. So we'll talk about that one now. But for 13.6, number 1 was quite straightforward. They asked you how many 4-digit numbers can be made from the digits 1 to 6. If no digit may be repeated. Now guys, maybe you misread, but they say 4-digit numbers, right? They didn't say how many numbers. So you actually can't use 6 factorial for this one. Because if you're making a 4-digit number, you're just supposed to have 4 slots, right? So for the first digit of that number, there will be 6 options. So it's going from 1 to 6, right? So there are 6 numbers to choose from. They said that for A, no digit may be repeated. So for the next one, there will only be 5, and then 4, and then 3. Okay, so you unfortunately can't use 6 factorial there. So there aren't 6 slots. Right? Does that make sense? You can say 4-digit number. Okay. So the next one would be, they now said that the digits may be repeated. So now it's again a 4-digit number that you are supposed to be setting up. But now you have 6 options for all 4 of those digits in that number. Right, so that is where 6 are for. You can also say 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'll find it out from that. Then for the next one, this is a very long one, this question, but basically there's a multiple choice test with 10 questions and each question has a choice of 5 possible answers. So basically you would have your 10 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, each of those lines represents a question, and there are 5 options for each of them. A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so they were asking how many different answer patterns are there? Right, so combinations of answers. 5 to the 10. Right, you agree with that? But I think with this work is sometimes the wording is just rough. Yeah, even if you look at that class papers, sometimes the wording is a bit confusing. Yeah, just taking practice, I suppose, to get used to the types of questions that they normally ask. We can look at some past paper questions next week. Okay, then for number 4, assuming that any combination of letters forms a word, how many different words can be formed with the letters? But guys, here they didn't specify whether you can allow repeats or not. But when they don't specify, then you need to assume that you can't, right? Because if I give you like a word jumble, then normally you just assume that you can't repeat the letters, right? So like cat, what would be another option? Act, or TCA, or TAC, right? You don't normally think AAA. Okay, so I would say for 4A, I would just say 3 factorial, right? Because there are 3 letters. So you have your 1, 2, 3 slots. There are 3 options for the first slot, the first letter, and then 2, and then 1. Right? And for the next one, for lion, there are 4 letters to choose from. So 4, and then 3, and then 2, and 1. And then for the last one, for tiger, there are 5 letters to choose from. 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right? Yes. Even I think it's really easy. Okay, now, like I said, we'll come back to number 7. Sorry about that. Number 9, there were 5 boys and 5 girls. So for 9A, they said, in how many ways can they be seated in a row on a bench if there are no restrictions on seating arrangements? So then it's just 10 people and they can sit in whichever way. So are we okay with that first one, 10 factorial? Right? Okay, because there are 10 seats. First person sits, then they're 9, then they're 8, then they're 7. For B, I was a bit surprised that they put a question like this straight away. They said, no 2 boys and no 2 girls may sit next to each other. So if I just change that wording, does it make sense to you guys that the boys and the girls have to alternate? Right? They're saying no boys or girls may sit next to each other. Right, so it's supposed to be girl, boy, and so on. So now here, if you just look at what I did here, I put my 10 seats and I said, okay, if a boy sits first, then next up we'll have to have a girl, and then a boy, and then a girl, and then a boy, and a girl, and so on. Right? So that no 2 boys or no 2 girls are sitting next to each other. Then I fill that in. How many boys are there in total? 5. Right? So for the next boy seat, there will be 4. And then for the next boy seat, 3 options, 3 boys left, and then 2 boys left, and then 1 boy. Right? And then the same thing happens for the girls. So for all the girl seats, yeah, the first girl seat, there are 5 girls. So any of those 5 girls can sit there. But then for the next girl seat, there are only 4. Right? Makes sense? The next girl seat, there would only be 3 girls left, and then 2, and then 1. Okay, so if we're just looking at these numbers, guys, do we see that this is actually 5 factorial times 5 factorial? Just check there. That's what 5 factorial is 1, right? That's 5 factorial. But then I have another 5 factorial there, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that first line makes sense. But now, guys, you can also do it the other way around, because what if a girl sits first? Right? That's also an option. You can also have a girl sitting first, then a boy, then a girl, then a boy. So it's basically all the same numbers, but just in the first option you have boys sitting first, in the second option you have a girl sitting first. And then what you have to do is you have to take this and you have to add those values all together with the final, which is quite rough. I don't know if anyone managed to get to that answer. Did anyone maybe think of this in a different way and get to the same answer? Yeah. Oh, if you bring your hand up. Yeah, so it's something else. Guys, we will do more examples like this, okay, where you have different options that you have to add together. So yeah, again, sorry, I didn't realize that they snuck this question into an exercise. I thought it was just like groups. You could just do it from there. Okay. Yeah, I suppose you can look at each first. It's not really a group question. It's more like there are different options to fulfill this condition. Sorry guys, we can maybe just circle this one and we will come back to more of these type of questions. On Monday we'll do some more. So now you can maybe just copy that down, that would be great. And then C actually had the exact same answer, but obviously C was a group question. So in C they said, how many ways can they be seated in a row on a bench if the boys all sit next to each other and the girls all next to each other? So now we have 2 groups, right? So you're supposed to do your 2 factorial or just 2 for the groups. And then you say how many girls are there? 5. So you must do your 5 factorial for the group of girls. And then how many boys are there? Also 5. So you do your 5 factorial for that group. Okay, so you do end up with the same answer, but obviously the logic behind it is quite different. Okay, I'm going to hand out an exercise page quickly and don't get a fright, please. There is a lot on the page. I'm not going to give you all of them. It's just from past years where I took them all from one. Now I'm turning it around. I'll have enough. That's a sheet for now. What's happening wrong?
You know, I think that's that's a good guy. What does it look like to you? I see it.
Okay, great. But does everyone have their own one? Okay, guys, I would like to, so this is from a different textbook, and it's kind of all beautiful. Yes, that's right. Then they gotta do number 5.
What's that?
Okay, so exercise 2, I would like you to number 5 and 6.
I did that.
Probably not writing down.
Wow.
Yeah, we are. I just put down practice for school. Okay, exercise 2, 5 and 6, and then if you look at the next page, I think that was exercise 5. That's happening here. That's really, you can just pull that in. Or you have to draw in. No, the example that you want to do. So exercise 5 on the next page, I would like you to do number 3. And 4. And 6. No, I didn't. Okay, well, which ones did I say now? 5 and 6. Thank you. 3, 4, and 11. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a while back for 3 minutes, and whatever you go finish, you can go. Okay. And then I'm gonna okay. So get going on that, please, guys. 15 minutes. Yeah, yes.